Hi, welcome to PosterCentral.com's video blog. I'm Pete Howard, and this is, of course, the Rolling Stones. No, just kidding. It's not only the Beatles, it's their last concert. Not just the last American concert, last concert ever. Not counting the Apple rooftop thing in 1970. But this is a very oft-discussed, meaning often, of course, debated, oft-misinterpreted, oft-misrepresented concert poster, because in 1966, for this gig in the Bay Area, San Francisco, they printed up whatever they printed up. A few hundred, dare I say more than 1,000, I'm not sure. And Wes Wilson designed it. And August of 66, as you can see, 29th. And then going forward, I can't even say factually starting in the 70s, but whatever, it's been reproduced, bootlegged, knocked off, replicated, whatever word you want to use, many different times in many different ways. And the general public, or new Beatle fans, or Beatle fans who are new collectors, or people who just want to get the poster now, oftentimes don't know what to look for, how to tell a boot from an original. Quite often, of course, common sense comes into play. If you see one for sale for $5 or $10 on eBay, you can be sure it's a reproduction, even if they don't state so. But I thought I'd show you an original that is actually in, not the greatest of condition. It's got a chewed off sort of missing corner there and stuff, see that? And, the back sort of shows it's got paint and everything on it. But, of course, being a collector, I just love the fact it was printed before the concert to sell tickets. That's really the line in the sand for poster collectors. Was it printed before the show to sell tickets? I can just give you a couple of, you can always call me if you have other questions, but I'll give you a couple basic pointers about separating the originals from the repros. The original is just a shade over 17 inches wide and 24 inches tall. There are many, many bootleg copies that have different dimensions, so that's a good way to start. It's definitely, yellow up and down either side. There was a common bootleg made where this is printed in white. It's of course with each clue I give you, it actually is harder to discern. You can tell sort of like you can tell just by listening and looking the thickness and the consistency of the stock it's printed on. A card stock shouldn't really be rolled to put in a tube. Don't want to do that. Some people might, but it's best set flat for sure. And pardon me, I know there's a lot of common reproductions also. Here's the printer credit down at the bottom. It says Litho by West Coast Lithograph Company with a union bug afterwards. I'm going to zoom in on it. On a lot of repros, that union bug, I'll put my finger under it, is in white. I think if I come in slow, it stays in focus. And here you can see it's in yellow, just like the words that precede it and the big letters above it, 8 p.m. That is in yellow. That's important. That's one important step to eliminate a whole lot of bootlegs. Take it from me, after collecting posters, the Beatles, my whole life, and posters for 20 years, just a few months ago, seasoned veteran collector me bought a bootleg through the mail, and luckily the guy took it back. We had a phone misunderstanding. I had gotten the dimensions, and I liked most of what I heard, and I said, is the bug white or yellow? And I could have sworn he said the union bug is yellow, but it came and it was white. And then everything else, you could also tell it was just too new and everything else. But anyway, try to get your facts straight on the phone or email before you get something through the mail. And it gets just, as I said, more subtle from there. I will say that on bootlegs and reproductions, notice how the blue and red play off each other on the Beatles' faces there, vis-a-vis the clothes they're wearing, which are represented in blue. On the reproductions, around like Lennon's shoulders especially, that blue really starts to just clog together and is a poor reproduction. But you can see on the originals it's a pretty true, I hope that comes through as good as it's looking on my monitor. The originals also, this gets sort of hard to describe, but it's a matter of the black large outside frame is glossy and the inside part is flat. And that's best discerned by holding it at an angle to the light. I've got a window right here and the light's bouncing off it, but I doubt if it really comes through on the video as it should. But anyway, those are a few basic pointers for discerning the originals printed before the show and the many, many, just thousands, if not tens of thousands of reproductions made after the show. There's my phone, I'll ignore it. So that's that's, you know, obviously a very, I don't need to tell you the importance of everything. Last concert, biggest artist ever and stuff, but that's the Beatles and Candlestick, and a ringing telephone too. So maybe it's Paul asking my advice. Anyway, thanks for stopping by today. Have a good day.